Okay, hopefully this will work. I don't know, maybe the sparkles are a little distracting. Let's see. I'm so new to this stuff. Okay, so hello, I am Shining. I'm going to work a little bit today. We're just going to do a brief mini class about some of the content that I have coming up in my April and May courses. So I want to start us off with some content from my creative improvisation class, or skills for creative improvisation. Hi guys, hello. I've been working on this material. I've been calling it creative variations, or the theory of visual interest, and I know that's a little academic for people, but I really believe that the core skills and the concepts of this curriculum are really, really useful for all skill levels. So I've decided to break it down into some more digestible pieces for the spring courses. So I want to give you an example of what some of that content is going to look like today. I first want to work with the ideas of size, speed, direction, and then we'll add a couple other things on. So these are really fundamental concepts. They're not too difficult, and you can do them with whatever base vocabulary you already have. How do I say this? And you'll have to forgive me. I know you've heard me say it a million times. I've got Gemini brain, which means my brain's going off on tangents, so I'll try to keep the words coming as concisely as possible. But these first couple ideas are things that we use a lot, but we're not always conscious of using them. And so I think it's nice just to start here by identifying these really simple things that even like someone the first day walking into class can use. So let's just use a basic hip circle to demonstrate these ideas. It doesn't really matter which kind. If you like the tilting kind, if you like flat, if you like more of a vertical circle, you can use any of those. I'm going to use my flat hip circle with, for the moment, my hip bones are going to stay pointing in one direction. So let's first talk about the size. This should be fairly obvious, right? We can make a movement big, small. We can change between big and small. Okay, obviously I'm already going into layers and stuff. I can't separate that in my brain, but thinking about changing the size to address different parts of what's happening in the music, especially during repetitive sections. It's nice to add a little extra variety by just doing something as simple as changing the size. We can also change the direction, right? That would be natural to go to one direction and then the other. And you can combine that with size. And then the third most simple thing would be to think about changing the speed or the timing. And this will make more sense depending on what's happening in the music. So I'll put a piece on here in just a minute so we can practice this. But with speed, you can think about like the overall, the movement as a whole. Am I doing it slow? Does it take 4 counts or 8 counts or 16 or 32, or does it take the entire length of the violin melody, or does it take 4 beats of the drum to get around? Or I would call that speed. Or you can think about timing. So this happens when we want to do one part fast and then sustain another part. So for me, this happens a lot with Nabaweya circles, where we're going slow, quick, quick. So that one part of it that has this very quick, and then the next part gets stretched out. So I would call that timing, and when you're doing a consistent speed, I usually refer to that as speed, but there are two sides of the same coin, right? So let's practice with basic movements like a circle or a step touch, or maybe a twist or a step up, okay? I think these are the movements that typically work best with this song, if I'm remembering correctly. So we'll practice changing the direction. We'll practice changing the speed or timing, and also the size. So let's see what we can do. Just play along with me. Nisa, I see you join. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the music, or let me know if I need to turn it up a little bit. Anybody can tell me. Hopefully you can hear it. Okay, so let's start with a basic step touch. Step touch. And the energy is going up, 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 and up. Fairly consistent timing, right? Now we've changed the speed. Just up, 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 and slow, slow, and up, 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 slow, slow, up, up, up. That's timing, right? Let's think about our sides. Same movement. Small, small, small. Up, up, up. Big, big, big. Small, small, small. Up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, up. Size and direction. Up, down, up, and small, small, small. Up, down, up. Let's try it with circles. Small, pause, slow circle. And then small, small, small and quick. Change direction. Pause, pause, slow. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're playing with concepts in direction, size, and speed, or timing. Back to the hip lifts. Up, down, up, down. Speed. Pause, pause. Let's add one more element where we're changing the angle of the body. Let's add this with the circle. We'll work on one angle and then change angles. Small, 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 big and slow. Small, 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 change angle, direction. Around yourself. Down, down. Take your time. Up, 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 up. Down, down. Slow. And quick. Take your time. All right. So this is just a little quick demonstration of ideas from my skills for creative improvisation. None of that was choreographed. That was all just using 3 simple ideas with fundamental movements to respond to a random song on my playlist. So we have direction. You saw sometimes like me going down and then switching to up, or down versus up emphasis. And then sometimes the direction of the path changes, whether it's right or left or up or down, right? With undulations, that would be reverse versus regular. We looked at size, so making something very small versus larger, small circles versus larger. Size and speed often get mixed together, but they can be separated. So a lot of us tend to use bigger circles and go slow the whole time, but you can play with bits of the timing, like I demonstrated with Naboe's circle, where part of it is quick and part of it is sustained. You can also think about doing big circles fast, right, depending on the music. So direction, speed, and size. These are a few core concepts from Skills for Creative Improvisation. Tomorrow, hopefully, maybe later this afternoon, depends how impatient I am, I will have a little demonstration of what's going to happen in the next one, the subtle changes. So we'll take this idea from our angle changes that we just talked about, and we'll expand on these concepts. We'll talk about our weight placement, how weight shift can affect the look of our movements. We'll also talk about leg orientation, where the legs are placed and how you change them, and how that can create slightly different texture in your movement, as well as one of my favorite concepts, which I call point of origin, which has to do with where on the body the movement is being generated. So for example, I think it's probably my favorite when we look at circles, where a lot of us are used to thinking about going to the outside as being the starting place and then coming around. You can also choose to maybe slide back as the start, slide back, so that you're ending by coming up with the torso. Or something like Naboe's circle, where she's sliding back to the diagonal, but she's also sitting. Okay, that extends to things like shimmies. When we think about changing the point of origin, a simple solution would be shimmy here, right? Undulation in this part of the body, focused on the pelvis, focused on the chest, the whole body, or in the arms, or in the hand. Okay, so we'll talk about some of these concepts in the next video. We'll also have some demonstrations coming up for the emotionality, the emotion and staging course, which will happen on Fridays. And what else do we have? I have a combinations class coming up on Wednesdays, so we'll integrate these skills that I've been talking about in other classes through focused combinations, because I know a lot of people have been requesting like a sort of drills practice from me. So we're gonna work on combinations of movements that I like, either things that I tend to do in my own dancing or things that I like in other dancers. And then we can look at how these skills are already embedded in the combinations. So I'll give you another quick example of this. I'm obviously going to talk a lot about Naboea because it's what I've been working on, and so it's what's in my head right now. But if we think about one of Naboea's circles, we're working on one plane, right? The circle is here. We're changing levels, so that's one element. We're changing where the weight is placed by having it back foot, front foot. We're changing the leg orientation because sometimes we're going to be out wide and then step behind so that the legs are crossed. We look at little things like that. In like the mashal, if I compared that to the mashal combination that we worked with in my last creative variations course, we're taking that same concept of circles, but changing the plane so that sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's a circle that moves vertically through the body rather than one side. Things like this. I don't know if there's anything else in particular I want to say, but if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments and I will take a look. Let me see if I can do a little scrolling right now and see if anybody asked. No, okay. Well, awesome. Thanks for joining in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments afterwards. I just posted the schedule for upcoming spring classes on my website and in my stories, so you can take a look. See you soon.